good to go? Guys? All right. All right. Some cheers, some fans in the crowd. Okay, so welcome everybody over here. Thank you for coming and joining us on this lovely day in Mumbai. My name is Amrit Gopinath. I look after brand marketing for Adidas. Along with me are three brand ambassadors of Adidas who need no introduction. We have Rohit Sharma, aka Hitman, captain of the Mumbai Indians. We have Sayami Kher, who is an athlete first and an actress later. And we have Kieron Pollard, also part of the Mumbai Indians here with us and a West Indian all-rounder. So quickly, just to set context, the IPL is kicked off. There's a lot of sporting action with the Commonwealth Games also. But at the game time, and that's probably about 180 minutes of cricket that you have during a T20 match. But what happens behind the scenes is really what makes athletes work really hard. Because it's not just about game day, it's about how much effort you put in your training, in your practice, in your conditioning, strength, agility, behind the scenes. It's all the effort that goes on behind the scenes and all culminates into game day. So having said that, Adidas has now designed a shoe which is essentially to help athletes train for their sport. All right, it's a running shoe that is designed for athletes to run their game. All right, so footwear, and I'm sure you guys will agree with me, footwear is probably the most important tool or one of the most important tool after the cricket bat for athletes, right? And they use their footwear, and but it's not just the cricket spike or the football stud or the indoor shoe that you use, because athletes don't really train in these shoes all the time. They use them during game day, but when they train, they need a shoe that is a kind of an all-rounder. Like, you know, in cricket you have an all-rounder. You need a shoe that's an all-rounder because you need a shoe that's good in running. You need a shoe that's good for stability when you're doing conditioning drills, when you're doing strength and flexibility exercises. You need a shoe that gives you cushioning when you're doing your agility drills. So we're here for the launch of the Alphabounce Beyond. All right, this wonderful shoe, and I'm going to pick it up right now. This shoe is designed for athletes to train for their sport. It's a running shoe, which helps people use their running as a means of training for their sport. Okay, so this is the Alphabounce Beyond. So coming back to these athletes, and it's good to hear from them as to what is it that they do when they train for their sport, because we have elite athletes over here who kind of epitomize the highest level of sporting brilliance that we have. So I'm going to start off with Rohit. Just let us know, what is your training regime? What are those hours and hours of training and conditioning that you do that gets you match ready for your match?
Since we as a cricketer, we are most of the time on the road, playing from one country to another. We have to manage our body really well, and that includes so many things, from your training programs to your recovery programs, because what you do on the field is one thing and what you do off the field is another thing, and both have to complement each other for you to be performing at the highest level. So I think luckily for us, we've got good sets of trainers, physios working with us, and they work day in out with us to make sure that we are game ready. And it's, at the end of the day, it's on an individual, how he manages everything that has been given to him. After a certain point, it is all about discipline. Programs have been laid out, everything has been given to you. It's all about going there and executing it. So for us, as any cricketer, any sportsman, I would say, not just cricketer, but any sportsman, training is utmost important, and it holds high regards in my books for sure. Certainly because the amount of sport we play these days, just to make sure that you lead a healthy lifestyle on and off the field, and it is important to carry yourself well. And fitness is now become a lifestyle. It has become a part of our life. So I'm sure these two will agree with me on this. So yeah, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it's on individual, and we are only here to raise awareness about fitness and the importance of fitness in one's life.
Thanks, Rohit. I think fitness has become a part of our lives. It's not no longer a choice that you have to make. It's almost ingrained in our lives. Kieron, is running a big part of your conditioning? Do you do a lot of endurance running, or I see from your smile that you're going to give me an answer which I don't want to hear.
Of recently, yes. You know, before you're a bit younger, you take a lot of things for granted. You know, you take age on your side. You get up and you just go and you do things that you didn't think you can do. But now, age on the other side, you know, getting on the other side of city and stuff like that, you know, you have to be put into work. You know, as Rohit said, you know, training becomes part of your daily routine, and endurance is very important as well in order to sustain for long periods. So I can't speak for myself in terms of long periods as I play T20s, but you know, for the test guys and you know 50 over cricket and stuff like that, you know, you need that sort of endurance training from before. So you know, it has come part and parcel of our training regime, and like I said, as individuals, it helps you physically and helps you mentally. You know, you have a better day. You start off a day, you know, training. You know, you have a better day all throughout. So again, it's very important, and again, we're here to raise the awareness of that fitness and of course the endurance, you know, of helping the body going forward.
All right, so good. So Kieron is on the record said that running is part of his training, so that's great. Sayami, you are a runner by yourself. You run a marathon, you've run the Mumbai half marathon. So apart from running and training for running, what other training exercises do you do, and I mean, what's your schedule like?
So sport and running has been an integral part of my life ever since I was very young. I'm not a pro athlete like both of them, but it just feels very good to sit in between two athletes who are pro athletes. I did a film called Mirziyad last year, and I'd gone on Kapil Sharma's show, and I happened to play cricket with Sidhu and got him out. So I think more people saw me doing that than saw my film. So sport has always been very special for me. So besides running, training for running, I do a lot of functional training. I don't really like going to the gym so much, so I do body weight training. I play badminton every week. I play cricket. That's something I really enjoy playing, so that's something which is a part of my routine. So I like to involve a lot of sport in my training. That's what makes it fun, and that's what I enjoy doing.
That's great. So you have two athletes here who run for their sport, and you have an athlete there who plays sport for her running. So it's like a good mix of things to have. So good. So the Alphabounce Beyond is a shoe that actually helps people or helps athletes train for their sport. It's got a bounce midsole which helps you, gives you that cushioning. It's got a forged mesh on top. This is one of the few running shoes which has a very broad forefoot, because Indians have a wide feet, and there's a lot of lateral movement when you do conditioning drills and when you do work in the gym. So this kind of really gives you that comfort and that fit that you need when you're doing a lot of long workouts and conditioning in the gym. So that's about the shoe. Given that we're talking about footwear, how important is footwear when you do your training for your thing? I know you wear your cricket spikes when you play, but what kind of how important is footwear when you train for your sport?
Like I mentioned, what we do on the field in terms of our skills is another thing, and what we do outside the field in terms of fitness and making sure that we are ready for the game is another thing. So all the training gear that we use is very, very important, only because to make sure that it gives you enough comfort and it gives you that stability. I think the Alphabounce is something that is very interesting. It gives you as an individual, as an athlete, to go out there and do those short bursts, which we call, like there are people who don't like to go for long running, like 5Ks and 10Ks and things like that, but people who want to do agility training and quick training, short and sharp burst, this is the perfect one. I've tried it myself. I found I wore it, I tried it, I found massive difference. So I think that is something that really impresses me, and going forward as well, I'm going to use more and more of those, because I'm someone who like to do short and sharp bursts, because on the field when you're playing, especially limited overs cricket, you need to be agile, you need to be quick on your feet and ready to respond to the opposition. So I think that is something which will help me take my game forward.
Sure. Thanks Rohit. Kieron, when you do agility drills, when you do endurance training, do you actually use the same footwear, or do you actually change your footwear when you do different types of drills in the gym?
No, well, basically you try to use the same because for comfort. But I said on the field it's different because you use spikes. Off the field, you use something obviously like the sneakers and now the Alphabounce. So it can help you, up your game in terms of your training. So it helps you to perform better in the long run. So footwear obviously is very important. The shoes is something that you wear more often than not. Yes, you have your other cricketing gear, stuff like that, but you're on your feet most of the time. So you need to actually be comfortable. And I think this new Alphabounce, I said, with the broad feet as well, I think it's helpful for me, because that's the sort of feet that that I have. And with the short bursts, T20 cricket, short bursts, what more do you want?
Yeah, true. And you're wearing it almost like a fashion sneaker. It looks good on you, huh? Sayami, you play batty, you play cricket. So how important is footwear when you play these sports and when you run?
So I think footwear is extremely important, because when I ran the marathon, I wasn't aware of how important it is, and I lost my toenail. So after I ran the full marathon, I wasn't running in correct shoes, and then obviously I studied about it and I realized how important it is. And I can see how much of a difference it makes, because you keep evolving with different shoes every time you change your running style or you change your speed. So the Alphabounce is something which I'm really happy about, because I have broad feet as well, and women generally in India don't get the variety of shoes with broad, like a broad foot. So I'm very, very happy with this shoe, and I'm looking forward to training with it.
All right, cool. After you lost your toe, then you signed with Adidas, just to... Yes. All right, so something that you guys also talked about was the fact that you train on the road, in hotel rooms and stuff like that. I mean, can't be easy, right? I mean, there's a gym in most hotels, but do you guys train in small spaces in the comfort of your hotel rooms, or do you like to train in the fields and in the gyms in the hotels?
I mean, you got to use whatever facility is available to you. Sometimes when you travel, you don't get the facility that you expect. So you have to be ready for everything as a sportsman. One thing that I've learned in my career, that as a sportsman there is no excuses, whether you're playing or whether you're training, whatever it is. So I think I like to take it in my day-to-day life, and move forward. I think when we spoke about the shoe, like I said, it is something that gives you a quick burst. So that is important. Like when we play in places like Australia and maybe New Zealand as well, we don't get big enough gyms there. So you have to, whatever facility is available to you, you have to make use of it. And sometimes we have to train indoors. So indoor facility where we do our skills, bowlers bowl, batters bat, and then what you do after that is you have to field as well. So we kind of make use of that place as well. So I mean, yeah, it is something that you have to take it in your stride and move forward.
Kieron, what's the weirdest place you've ever trained?
It has to be a bedroom, huh? Sometimes it's yeah. Sometimes the bedroom.
I'm not going to ask about what kind of training, but
no. There's functional stuff you can do. Yes. Yeah, with little mini bands and the foam rollers and stuff like that to get the body loose, rather than taking that long trek to the gym. So that would have been one of the weirdest places out of training.
Nice. So well, you guys are going to I'm going to up the ante, and this is going to be the weirdest place that you're going to train. It's inside an Adidas store. So we've got some challenges for you to do in the new Alphabounce that you're wearing. Some functional training, just to give everybody an idea of what you're supposed to do, right? So what is it, 100 burpees, 100 squats, no? No, just kidding.
कहना तो जो भी था आपने कह दिया यार।
Adidas media. I'm Adidas media. You go ahead.
Yeah, I'll hold it. देखिए आपने देखा हमने जो भी अभी ड्रिल यहाँ पे किया ये शूज़ को लेकर किया, तो बोलना ये चाह रहा हूँ कि ये शूज़ में वो सारी चीज़ें हैं जो एक एथलीट को ज़रूरत है अपनी गेम को ऊपर लेके जाने के लिए। तो आई थिंक ये जो शूज़ इन्होंने बनाया है ये शूज़ में वो स्टेबिलिटी है और ये शूज़ मैराथन और उन रनरों के लिए नहीं है जो 5 किलोमीटर 10 किलोमीटर भागते, जो शॉर्ट और शार्प ट्रेनिंग जो करते हैं उनके लिए, जो ड्रिल्स होते हैं छोटे छोटे ड्रिल्स होते हैं क्विक तेज़ी से जो ड्रिल करते हैं ना वो उनके लिए। तो हमने जो भी पहन के देखा काफ़ी पसंद आया, क्योंकि क्रिकेट में अभी लिमिटेड ओवर्स जो मैचेस चल रहे हैं T20 मैचेस, उसमें आपको तेज़ी से भागना पड़ता है, बॉल रोकना पड़ता है, बॉल उठकर बॉल फेंकना पड़ता है, जब बैटिंग कर रहे हो रन भागना पड़ता है, तेज़ी से मूव करना पड़ता है। तो ये सब चीज़ के लिए हमें ये सब ये सारे जूते हेल्प करते हैं। तो आई थिंक हमने वो एक्सपीरियंस किया अभी यहाँ पर। इन दोनों से भी अगर आप पूछोगे तो ये दोनों भी आपको सेम चीज़ बताएंगे।
ओके रोहित, मेरा सवाल आपसे है कि अगर एक जूता खरीदते टाइम में, शूज़ खरीदते टाइम में आप क्या-क्या चीज़ें हैं जो देखते हैं शूज़ के अंदर?
मेरे लिए सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है शूज़ का स्टेबिलिटी, क्योंकि हमारे परफॉर्मेंस को ऊपर लेके जाने के लिए आपको शूज़ का क्वालिटी अच्छा चाहिए, और अगर आपका शू क्वालिटी अच्छा है तो आप ग्राउंड पे जो भी सारी चीज़ें आपको चाहिए करने के लिए वो आप कर सकते हो। तो आई थिंक ये जो भी सारे जूते हम पहनते हैं क्रिकेट के शूज़ और ये अल्फाबाउंस है, तो ये सारे जूते में हमको वो स्टेबिलिटी और वो ग्रिप हमको मिलता है, तो हमारे परफॉर्मेंस के लिए अच्छा होता है। क्रिकेटर्स के लिए नहीं, सारे स्पोर्ट्समैन के लिए फुटवेयर बहुत ज़रूरी होता है। तो फुटवेयर पे सारा फोकस स्पोर्ट्समैन का फुटवेयर पे होता है कि आप किस तरीके से उसको यूज़ करते हो, और आपका परफॉर्मेंस अगर आपको ऊपर लेके जाना है तो आप कैसे मैनेज करोगे। तो शूज़ हमारे लिए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है।
जी, जैसे रोहित और पोलार्ड दोनों कह रहे थे, इट्स जस्ट अ शू विच इज़ वेरी कंफर्टेबल। जो विथ है इसका बहुत ब्रॉड है, तो जिन लोगों के पास ब्रॉड फीट होते हैं उनके लिए इट्स वेरी कंफर्टेबल। मैंने पहली बार एक्सपीरियंस किया है शू को आज, तो इट वाज एक्सट्रीमली कंफर्टेबल। आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू रनिंग इन इट, लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू ट्रेनिंग इन इट। और मेरे लिए एक्चुअली ये बहुत ही गुड लुकिंग शूज़ है, तो मुझे तो बहुत पसंद है क्योंकि दे लुक वेरी वेरी गुड एंड आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू रनिंग इन देम।
Say it again?
About the launch.
Okay. I think it's great. The new Alphabounce, as you said, it's good for agility, it's good for speed. It's very comfortable as well. It helps you, again, us with broad feet. I think that's the most comforting thing about it. So, looking forward to using it and, upping my ante in my training, and hopefully it improves, my performances on and off the field.
देखा जाए तो फिर बॉल टेम्परिंग पे जो हुआ है अभी फिलहाल,
उस सारे चीज़ों पे हमने बहुत बात कर चुके हैं, तो अभी बात करे कोई मतलब नहीं है। जो भी कहना था मैं तो कह चुका हूँ, मैंने ट्विटर पे भी डाला था जो भी कहना था। तो
Thank you.